Welcome back to the Affirm Opulence podcast, everybody. You know, week after week, we keep coming back to this amazing book, The Science of Getting Rich, and finding all these incredible insights that we can use to create really powerful affirmations to help us design a life of, well, opulence.
Yeah, and it's been an amazing journey so far. I mean, think about all the stuff we've already uncovered.
No, it's crazy how much is packed into this book.
Right, and the thing is, we're not even close to done yet. Because today, we are diving into Chapter 8.
Ooh, Chapter 8.
Thinking in the Certain Way, which is, when you really get down to it, about setting a really strong foundation for potent and effective affirmations.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little.
Yeah.
You know, I have to admit, the title itself, Thinking in the Certain Way, it really makes me think,
Yeah.
It suggests that there's this very specific mindset, this certain way of thinking that can unlock real abundance.
Yeah, and you're totally spot on with that. Wattles really stresses that it's not just about thinking positive thoughts, it's about aligning our thoughts with these fundamental principles of wealth creation.
Interesting.
And a big part of that is forming a clear mental picture of what we actually want, what we desire.
So instead of just throwing out wishes out to the universe, it's more like creating this detailed blueprint.
Exactly. It's like an architect designing a building. You wouldn't start construction without a really detailed plan.
Yeah.
It's the same with manifesting wealth. You can't just have these vague desires. It won't work.
Okay, yeah.
You got to create this really vivid mental picture, almost use all of your senses. So imagine walking through your dream house, feeling those luxurious textures, smelling the fresh flowers, hearing the laughter of loved ones.
Okay, wow. Now that you say it like that, I can really picture it. It's funny because it makes me think about how athletes use visualization all the time.
Yeah.
To help them perform better. They'll mentally rehearse everything they're going to do, every move.
Right.
Which I guess builds their confidence and helps them, get in the zone and perform at their best.
That's such a good connection. It really is the same principle.
Huh.
By, really vividly imagining our desired outcome, we're basically imprinting it on our subconscious mind, making it feel way more real and attainable.
So it's about making it feel real, not just a fleeting thought.
Exactly.
Okay, this is all super fascinating. And, I get it. I really do. But I gotta be honest, sometimes I feel like I get stuck in the dreaming phase, I can visualize it all super clearly, but then it just feels like a fantasy, not something I can actually achieve. So how do we bridge that gap between visualization and actualization?
Well, that's where the power of purpose and faith come in. Wattles argues that visualization alone isn't enough. It needs to be fueled by a burning desire, a deep-seated conviction that what we want is not only possible, but it's also meant for us.
It's it's already ours.
Right, and on top of that, you need to have unwavering faith.
Okay, so it's not just daydreaming, it's more actively claiming that dream as our reality,
Yeah.
Mentally and emotionally.
Exactly. Wattles actually uses this analogy that I really like. He calls it living in the new house mentally.
What does that even mean?
So he's talking about feeling the ownership, feeling that joy, the gratitude, even before it shows up physically.
Right.
It's about embodying the feeling of already having what you desire.
Wow. Okay. I think I'm starting to see how all of this connects back to creating these powerful affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just repeating words, we're aligning our entire being, our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs with that reality we actually want to create.
Exactly. Affirmations aren't just about positive thinking. They're about aligning ourselves with the frequency of what we desire, tuning a radio to the right station.
Oh, I like that.
If we want to experience abundance, we need to tune our thoughts and beliefs to the frequency of abundance.
Okay, so just to be clear, it's about shifting our entire mindset from one of lack and limitation to one of abundance and possibility.
Exactly. And that's where affirmations become super powerful.
Okay.
When we affirm something with conviction, we're basically telling our subconscious mind, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I'm creating.
I mean, it does make sense that our thoughts would shape our reality, right?
Absolutely.
So I guess it's kind of like planting seeds of intention, and then, with consistent nurturing, they'll blossom into our reality.
Mm-hmm.
But I am kind of curious about, the time and energy we should put into this,
Yeah.
How much time should we be spending on these affirmations? Does it have to be this constant, all-consuming practice?
That is a really great question, and Wattles actually gives a really reassuring perspective on this. He basically says that all these constant concentration exercises aren't necessary.
Oh, good.
When your desire is actually strong enough, your thoughts will naturally gravitate towards it.
Okay.
It's like if you really want that delicious slice of cake, you don't have to schedule thinking time to obsess over it. You want it.
That's so true and
Yeah.
so relatable. So I guess it's not about forcing ourselves to think about our desires 24/7.
Right.
It's more about like cultivating a mindset that naturally aligns with that feeling of abundance.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes sense. But how do we like ensure our desires are strong enough to overcome, mental laziness? How do we make sure we're not just passively hoping for something, but we're like actively creating it?
Well, I think that is where the real work comes in. It's about really cultivating a deep, unwavering desire that is backed by purposeful action.
Yeah, I like that. Purposeful action.
Wattles challenges us to really examine our level of commitment.
Okay, yeah.
Like, are we truly willing to put in the effort, not just in our thoughts, but also in our actions, to make our desires come to life?
So it's about aligning our intentions with inspired action.
Exactly.
Okay, this is starting to feel like a really powerful formula for actually manifesting our dreams. But before we move on, I want to circle back to affirmations and how they fit into this bigger picture. We've talked about visualization, purpose, faith, and action. But how do affirmations become the bridge between our inner world and our outer reality?
It's like this. We've got the blueprint, the burning desire, the unwavering faith, and the willingness to take action, and affirmations are the language we use to communicate all of that to our subconscious mind.
Ooh, I like that.
They're the bridge between our inner world and our outer reality.
So instead of just hoping and wishing, we're actively declaring our intentions to the universe.
Right.
And in doing so, we're aligning ourselves with the forces that can make those dreams a reality. Precisely. But it's not just about reciting any random phrase. Wattles is really specific about how we should think about and use affirmations. Remember, he talks about thinking in a certain way.
Yeah.
This means choosing words that reflect absolute certainty, not wishful thinking.
So instead of saying, I hope to be financially free, we would say something like, I am financially free.
Yes.
It's about claiming it as our present reality, even if it hasn't manifested physically yet.
Exactly. It's about speaking from a place of knowing, not hoping. And here's where it gets really interesting. Waddle suggests that repeating these affirmations isn't about reminding the universe what we want.
Okay,
It's about impressing those beliefs upon our own subconscious mind.
that's a powerful distinction.
Sure.
So it's not about begging or pleading with the universe. It's about aligning our inner world with our desired outer reality. I've heard some people say that affirmations can feel a bit mechanical, like they're just repeating words without really feeling them.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
That's a valid concern. And that's where mindfulness comes in. It's not just about reciting words. It's about embodying the energy and emotion behind those words. Imagine you're an actor delivering a line in a play. If you just say the words without any feeling, it won't resonate with the audience.
Ah, I see. It's about bringing those affirmations to life through our own conviction and belief. It's about feeling the truth of those words in every cell of our being.
Exactly. And here's a practical tip as you're saying your affirmations: close your eyes and visualize the scene as if it's already happening. Engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, and feel in this reality where your affirmation is true? What emotions are you experiencing?
It's like we're creating a mini movie in our minds where we're the stars living out our dream life.
You got it. And here's another important point. Wattles emphasizes the importance of gratitude in the process of affirming our desires. He talks about being grateful for what we desire as if we already have it.
The power of gratitude. It's like we're sending a message to the universe. Hey, we're really happy with what we have, and we're open to receiving even more.
Absolutely. Gratitude shifts our energy from lack to abundance. It opens us up to receive the blessings that are already flowing towards us.
This is all so inspiring. But I have to be honest, some days are harder than others. Some days those doubts and fears creep back in, and it feels like my affirmations are battling against a wall of resistance. Any advice for those tough days?
First, remember that those tough days are normal. We all experience them. The key is to not let those doubts and fears derail us. Acknowledge them without judgment, and then gently redirect your focus back to your affirmations.
So it's not about denying those negative thoughts, it's about choosing to focus on the thoughts and beliefs that empower us.
Exactly. And remember, consistency is key. Creating lasting change takes time and effort. It's like training a muscle. The more we practice thinking in a certain way, the stronger those neural pathways become, and the easier it becomes to maintain a positive, abundant mindset.
This has been such an insightful conversation. It's amazing how these seemingly simple principles can have such a profound impact on our lives. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to the idea of crafting powerful affirmations. We've talked about the mindset and the principles behind them, but I'd love to give our listeners some practical tips on how to actually write affirmations that resonate with their specific desires.
That's a great idea. Let's dive into the nuts and bolts of creating affirmations that work.
Perfect. Because I know our listeners are eager to start putting these principles into action and crafting their own opulence attracting affirmations. All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What are the key ingredients for crafting those super powerful powerhouse affirmations?
We've already talked about some of them, but first and foremost, they gotta be personal.
Okay, yeah.
Your affirmations should reflect your own unique desires and goals. It's not about, copying someone else's affirmations. It's about making statements that really resonate with, your heart and soul.
Yeah, it's going to be authentic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to be about tapping into our own desires.
Yeah.
Not just following some generic formula.
Exactly. And like we talked about earlier, they need to be phrased in the present tense, like you already have what you want.
Yeah.
This helps shift your mindset from longing to ownership.
Right. So instead of saying, I want to be financially abundant, we'd say, I am financially abundant.
Exact.
It's about claiming it as our current reality, even if, it hasn't quite materialized yet.
That's it. And this is where those vivid mental images we talked about come in.
Okay, yeah.
You got to infuse your affirmations with sensory details.
Ooh, I like that.
Instead of just saying, I live in my dream home, describe it. The spacious rooms, the lush garden, the feeling of peace you experience there.
So we're painting a picture with words. Right.
Got it.
We're making those affirmations really come alive in our minds.
Exactly. And remember, clarity is super key.
Okay.
The more specific you are, the more potent that affirmation is going to be.
Okay, yeah.
Don't just say, I have a successful business.
Yeah.
Be specific. How many clients do you have? What impact are you making? How much revenue are you generating?
Right. So it's about creating this clear roadmap for our subconscious mind to follow.
Right.
So that brings me to another question. What about those limiting beliefs that tend to pop up?
Yeah.
How do we deal with those in our affirmations?
That's a great point. If you're struggling with a specific limiting belief, address it head on in your affirmation.
Okay, I like that.
For example, let's say you often doubt your own abilities. You could say, I am capable and confident. I trust in my own skills and talents.
So we're basically replacing those negative thoughts with positive, empowering ones.
Yeah, exactly. And don't forget the emotion. How would you feel if this affirmation was already true?
Yeah.
Tap into those feelings, Joy, gratitude, excitement, whatever emotions match your desire.
So it's about really feeling it.
Yeah.
Not just going through the motions.
Absolutely. Now, let's say you've put together a few really powerful affirmations. What's the best way to actually use them, to incorporate them into your life?
Yeah, that's the big question, right?
It is.
I mean, creating them is one thing, but actually consistently using them, that's where the real magic happens.
Absolutely. A really simple but effective method is to write them down, right?
Okay, yeah.
And put them somewhere you can see them every day, like your bathroom mirror, your desk, maybe even your phone wallpaper.
Oh, I like that. That's a good idea.
It's a constant reminder.
Yeah, it's surrounding ourselves with those positive affirmations, creating an environment where our dreams can actually grow.
Exactly. And you can also, work them into your meditation or visualization practices.
Oh, good idea.
When you're relaxed, repeat those affirmations with intention. Really feel them deep down.
So we're combining the power of visualization with the potency of spoken words.
Yeah.
I love that.
And, don't underestimate good old repetition. The more you repeat those affirmations, the more they sink into your subconscious and really start to shape your beliefs and actions.
It's almost like we're rewiring our brains for success.
That's it. And lastly, be patient and persistent. Creating lasting change, it takes time and effort. Don't get discouraged if you don't see those results right away.
Yeah.
Just trust the process. Keep those affirmations going and celebrate every step you take towards your dreams.
This has been such an inspiring deep dive into the world of affirmations. We've talked about the principles behind them, how to actually craft them, and really their transformative power, right?
It really has.
It's amazing how these like simple principles can have such a profound effect on our lives.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And for everyone listening, if you want to learn more, we'll include links to The Science of Getting Rich and some other resources in our show notes.
Definitely check those out.
And be sure to tune in next week as we continue exploring this incredible book and uncover even more ways to really design a life of true opulence.
Until then, keep those affirmations flowing and, keep believing in the infinite possibilities waiting for you.
Absolutely. See y'all next time.